All right, guys, so maybe good morning, maybe good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. I told you guys that I was going to try to make this as normal as possible, kind of get back into our routine. So, of course, geometry wouldn't be normal without these fabulous independent practices that I know you all love and I'm sure missed over those 2 weeks that you were doing packets. All right, so we are going to do a few of these together. And then just like you did the last practice worksheet, I'm going to have you fill in a few answers into forms just so I can get an idea of what you can do on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. So number one, consider the following figure and answer the questions below about it. So these questions are coming from, sorry, I just moved everything, are coming from your key terms. So if you want to pull this up, you can. We can go over them real quick. So, your radius is from your center out to the edge of your circle. The diameter is 2 of those going through the center of your circle from endpoint to from edge to edge. And then a chord is just any line going from edge to edge or to endpoints on the circle. And then the center, obviously, the center. All right, so your center is F or point F, you can, whichever you would like, because it's in the middle. The radius, so it's any point that it's anywhere that goes from F out. So there's multiple options. I'm going to go with FL. So it is a line segment, so line segment FL. A chord is going to be from anywhere on the on the circle to another point on the circle. So it could be RL. It could also be FU, not FU. Ooh, AU. Could be AU. It could also be HM. Let's see. I think that's it. All right, and now your diameter. Now for this graph, I'm not going to include HM because I don't know for certain if they meant to have that line just above the center or not. So the only diameter that I'm going to use is A to U. All right, so those are your pieces and those are your parts. The ones that I have highlighted, these are the ones that you're going to do in forms because I think they're the easiest. So part B says, if the diameter of a circle F is 14 inches, then determine the radius length of circle F. So if you know the diameter, find the radius. I think that should be pretty simple. All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 2. For circle R with point L lying on the circle, determine the circumference if RL equals 34. This is super easy. The only thing I didn't want you to do, though, I thought some of you may try to use this RL, and this is a chord, so we don't know how to use a chord to find the circumference. So I didn't want you to get those confused. This is talking about an entirely different circle, so go ahead and get it drawn. For circle R, R is the center, and L is lying on the circle. It doesn't matter where L is on the circle. So that created a radius. So that's your radius. It says RL is equal to 34 units. So it's 34. So it's asking you to find the circumference. So hopefully you have some of that work somewhere in like a geometry pile somewhere. I know a lot of you kept most of your stuff at school, so you probably don't have a folder. Maybe you have like an old folder from like another grade, or like your mom has one lying around that you can use. If you do, it would be really, really beneficial if you keep all this circle stuff together because you are going to need to use it. If you don't have it, I have the formulas, but I'm just going to write them down. So your circumference formula, there's 2. The diameter times pi, you can use that always, or you can use 2 times the radius times pi. I know sometimes I switch these out of order. It doesn't matter. So 2 times r is the diameter times pi. These are exactly the same. So since I'm given r, the radius, I'm going to go ahead and fill this one in. So your circumference is 2 times 34 times pi. And had 2 times 34, that would be 68. So your circumference is 68 times pi. So option number 1, this is your exact answer. And your estimated answer would be 68 times 3.14 for pi, which would be about, let's see, 68 times 3.14 equals 213.52, and we're talking about just units, not units squared, because it's a straight line. So those would be your 2 answer options. All right, I forgot to tell you this earlier. I kind of just started going over these problems. If I were you, I would try these on your own first and then check your answers with me, because most of you are going to get these answers right. So just for the sake of like how we would do things in class, I don't want you just copying my answers, because you're really not going to learn anything. So, and I can't monitor that. So if I were you, I would do everything on your own first and then come back and check the ones with me. So if I were you, I would pause this video now. That was my bad. I forgot to tell you that. And then I would go ahead and do number 3 and do number 4 on your own. All right, so hopefully you paused it. Hopefully all of you are currently working on this. We are going to do 3A together and 4A together. I want to kind of get these pieces started, or get these figures started for you, and then I'm going to have you do the others in forms. All right, so number 3 says the radii, which we know is multiple radius. So of circles B, K, and D are 6 feet, 14 feet, and 3 feet respectively. Respectively just means in order. So B goes with 6, K goes with 14, D goes with 3. So I'm going to go ahead and label these. So the radius of B would be this radius right here. This circle B is 6 feet. Then you have K, which is going to be this entire radius, is 14 feet. You could also do this radius as well. And then circle D is 3 feet. So you know this piece is 3. Okay? So then it says determine the length of I, K, and justify your answer. Well, if you know this whole piece is 14 and you know this piece is 6, you can find the remaining piece. So your justification would pretty much be BK minus BI is equal to IK. So it'd be 14 minus 6 is equal to 8. And then you can go ahead and label that there. Okay? So go ahead. Keep going. Remember, if you know this radius is 14, you know this side is also 14. Because this radius, it's an equal radius. Just like if you know this piece is 6, you know this other piece also has to be 6. If this piece is 3, this other piece has to be 3. Any radius on the circle, so it doesn't matter where it's going from the center out, is going to be equivalent. Okay, so you guys go ahead, make sure you do B and C, and then plug your answers into forms. There'll be a link on my website. Okay, number 4. Once again, hopefully you've paused this, you've done this on your own to begin with. Okay, so it says, consider the figure below with circles R, C, and D, where circle R and D are congruent. That means that they're the same size, which means their radius are the same. So that's how a circle changes size, is if this radius extends longer, then it becomes bigger around. So if we know that this radius is 42, that means that we know this radius is also 42. So E to D, this radius is also 42. If R to A is 42 and E to C is 32, then answer the question below. Okay, so most of you would go match 32 here, but I want us to think about this. So it says determine CA plus ED. Well, we know ED is 42. So we know this part is 42. We've got to find CA though. So let's think about this. You have one circle here. This is the radius of the circle, but this is also a radius of the same circle, which means this piece is congruent to this piece. So this whole piece is, let's see, 42 and 32 make 74. That means this whole radius is 74 because you're talking about the same circle. So then 74 minus 42 gives you your, I'm going to use a different color. gives you your 32. So it's not just because it looks the same. You've got to think about what you're given. So now we know that C to A is 32, and 32 plus 42 gives you 74. Okay, so now that you have this, all it's asking you for part B is to determine the combined circumference of all three circles. You're going to find this circumference, you're going to find this circumference, you're going to find the big circumference, and then you're going to add them together and get one final answer. Now think about it. You could do 3 different circles, but don't forget that circle R and D are congruent. So that means they're the same size, which means the distance around or the circumference would be the same for those. All right, so that's it. Pretty easy. I don't think this was too tough. Good luck. If you have any questions, don't forget, you can send me messages on Remind, which comes straight to my cell phone, and I answer them pretty much all throughout the day. You can always email me. If you're really struggling, please let me know, because I do want to help you. It kind of kills me that I can't kind of be over your shoulder watching what you're doing, like I do in class, coming around and checking what you're doing. I hate that you can't kind of discuss this with people or partners, but just do your best. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I miss you guys. I know this is kind of crappy, but I hope that you're still learning something, because this is a pretty cool unit, and I wish I could teach it to you in person. All right, miss you. Have a good day. Bye.